Good evening. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Ask Us About Football. My name is Nico.
I'm Nate.
And we are here to give you our raw opinions and, as fans, what we believe is best information for you to follow the league. And Nate here is going to bring a different flavor to the mix by asking me questions to test my knowledge, and that might even answer any questions that you might have. If you have any further questions, please leave in the comments below. So for our first topic, I created a pre-draft power rankings. So at the top of my list from 1 through 5, I have the Eagles at number 1, I have the Rams at number 2, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 3, the Patriots at number 4, and the Vikings at number 5.
So the Rams, you got them at number 2?
Yes. Yeah, I have the Rams at number 2. I believe with them signing Sue, just bolsters their defense, more than what people think, because they already have one of the best defensive linemen in Aaron Donald. They signed Marcus Peters, or they traded for Marcus Peters. They also added Aqib Talib to the secondary. They have a great young quarterback who took the team to the playoffs. They have one of the best running backs, to some, the best. They have some weapons. So, yeah, I believe they did what they had to do this offseason to get them over that hump, to put them up there with the top, 2 or 3 teams in the league.
And so New England, you're thinking that they're going to be number 4 and not number 2. Honestly, with Tom Brady and what he's been doing lately, pulling out, some immaculate plays and just getting this team where they need to be, aside from all the controversy, you're still ranking them number 4?
Yeah, I mean, they're still number 4, so to me that's still high ranking. But I do see that some, some sources have them as the number 1, number 2, even number 3 team in the league. The reason I have them at number 4 is, even though Tom Brady has done what he's done at the age that he's at now, it just solidifies even more his standing as the elite quarterbacks. I think, in my opinion, he is the greatest of all time. But for this up-and-coming season, I do believe that he will be on the decline. And if he doesn't, I would be surprised. But again, it just shows, why he's a special breed. But I think it's time to say that I'm on the bandwagon that he's a decline. He's still going to play at a high level, not as high as what people are giving him credit for. I do know that they lost one of their top receivers, actually 2, Brandon Cooks, Danny Amendola. I know they signed Cordell Patterson, but they lost Deion Lewis. They lost Malcolm Butler. They signed a couple good defensive linemen in Danny Shelton and Adrian Claiborne. But again, I think just Brady, I can't see him doing what he's been doing consistently at that high of a level at his age. But, again, they will have a winning record, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs. So, to go on with the list, from 6 to 10, I have the Saints at number 6, the Steelers at number 7, the Packers at number 8, the Falcons at number 9, and Carolina Panthers at number 10.
I have a question about the Panthers.
So, sure you do. I'm sure you're a Falcons fan.
No, I'm not a Falcons fan.
Oh, yeah,
different bird. But with the Panthers, of course they went to the Super Bowl a few seasons ago, pretty recent. After that, they've been on a downhill spiral. Do you think that they're going to be in the ranking of being top 10?
Well, yeah. In my opinion, they are a top 10 team, as I have them at number 10. But the reason is they have Cam Newton, who's still one of the best quarterbacks.
Definitely.
They lost a few key players to their offense and defensive line, but they did sign Dontari Poe. They added Torrey Smith, and I think they can still add some young impact players in the draft. But with Cam Newton just being healthy, they played at a good level last season. I can see them continue what they did from last year.
Fair enough.
Okay, with the next 5, I have the Cowboys at number 11, the 49ers at number 12, the Chargers at 13, Tennessee Titans at 14, and the Texans at 15.
So, of course, you know that I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Used to be.
Used to be. I grew up and got smart. But like I was saying,
Now he's a Cardinals fan.
Cardinals fan all day long. I don't care. I'm from Texas. I rep my Cardinals. But with that being said, Cowboys under top 10, like, honestly, they have a clutch quarterback. They got a really good running back. Defensive is there. Why are they not top 10?
Well, I wish I can have that answer. Honestly, I don't think they're far from it. But you know, they have, like you said, a great young quarterback. They have one of the best running backs. They have, in my opinion, still the best offensive line, and I believe that their defense can still hold up. But that's, you know, the question marks is the defense. I'm a defensive guy, and so until they can get some good, solid defensive pieces that I can trust that's going to be there all season, and hopefully there's no more drama, which, you know, it's hard to say. It seems like there's always drama in Big D, but even with all that, last year they had a winning record. They almost made the playoffs. You know, Zeke was out for 6 games, so if he's there for all season, and obviously there's no major injuries to the offensive line, Dak Prescott, and if the defense can just hold up and maybe they can add a player or two in the first few rounds to the draft, they have a potential of being in the top 10. But, you know, the question marks that I have for, you know, my own team is the defense. You know, defense wins championships. You know, I hope Sean Lee can make it a whole season, but that's a big question mark. Jalen Smith, we don't know how well his knee's going to hold up. So, you know, to me, the defense is what's keeping them out of the, you know, the top of the 10 teams.
And you don't think that Houston should be ranked up a little bit higher than 15?
Higher as in like lower or,
you know,
better?
Better. I'm sorry.
Houston, 3 players: Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, and you know, your boy Tyrann Mathieu.
Oh, honey badger.
3 players that can impact, you know, a team, but also 3 players with that question mark. You know, if they're going to play a whole season. Deshaun Watson looked fantastic last year, but then, you know, that injury was major. We don't know if he's going to be 100%. We don't know if he's going to re-injure, and God forbid that it does. But J.J. Watt, you know, it's been a while since he's played a whole season, and with Tyrann Mathieu. So if those 3 can be part of the team all season, then, yeah, they can be a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe they will, which is why they can still be a good team, which is why I believe they're in the middle of the pack. So now for the 16 to 20, I have the Seahawks at 16, the Chiefs at 17, the Raiders at 18, Detroit Lions at 19, and the Redskins at 20.
It's a pretty good setup. Talk about the Raiders right now. Like, what are they doing right now?
Raiders, well, you know, as everyone knows, they have a new coach, John Gruden. You know, and to me, that's an upgrade to the team. I think he's a great coach. He's gonna, you know, he's gonna take Derek Carr and just mold him to be a even better quarterback, I believe. You know, they have an opportunity to draft some key players in the first round, a key player in the first round. They signed Jordy Nelson. They have Doug Martin, and so, you know, they're a great team. Defense is what also needs to be improved. But like I said, they can do that in the draft. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a team to be also on the lookout. You know, I think they have I have potential, but again, you know, their defense is a big question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So now to go 21 to 25, I have the Broncos at 21, the Bengals at 22, the Ravens at 23, the Buccaneers at 24, and your team at 25.
And it's odd that I'm going to say this, but 25 is a pretty good, position for the Cardinals. I don't see them performing that well unless they get a quarterback. I
They
know
did.
No, they did not. We did not get a
They
quarterback.
gave him 20+ million.
What were they thinking? Oh my goodness! Like seriously, I don't see him lasting after week 3. Honestly, he's injured for one, which means he's fragile. Unfortunately, I mean the truth is the truth. He's gonna get one too many hard hits within the first 3 weeks, and he's gonna be right back where he is. Unless we look for a quarterback, which I know we're looking at a few prospects right now, but if we don't get a quarterback that isn't afraid to throw to Larry Fitzgerald, being double teamed like Kurt Warner used to do all so many times, we're not gonna win any games. Because don't get me wrong, Carson Palmer, pretty good, but his old age caught up to him too late in the game. We lost him. I think he had another season or 2 in him, but it is what it is. If we don't get another quarterback like Kurt Warner, and unfortunately we haven't been doing really well with rookie quarterbacks. It's always been the veterans. The veterans have been doing stuff for Arizona. Palmer and Warner, case in point. But I just feel that ever since we got Matt Leinart, it's like rookie quarterbacks just don't do it. And I'm not putting anything on Bradford because I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Well, I mean, I have him at 25. Not really saying too much, but the reason I don't have him at the very bottom is, they're going to get David Johnson back. I love that guy. He's a great running back. I love how he can do everything. I think Sam Bradford will do some good. I believe he's going to play more games than not. They did add a couple pieces to the offensive line, but they could draft a quarterback. I believe that they might make a trade to get their quarterback, but with what they have right now, I don't see them as at the very bottom of the list. I think they'll win 4, maybe 6 games. I hate to say it.
I mean, I strive for a .500 at this point. Like if we win half the games, I think I can be okay with that. That's what we did this last season.
Now, depending on what they do in the draft, they could. Like I said, they can get a quarterback. And I'm not saying he's going to be the starter. They might start Sam Bradford still, but if he outplays Sam Bradford, or if Sam Bradford gets hurt, like you said, they will have a quarterback who, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the draft. I think will help them out and win a couple games. So, again, they're at 25. Not saying they're gonna have a winning record or do anything big, but with the draft coming up,
I don't see no playoff game, man. I love my team, don't get me wrong, but they're making some weird decisions on where they're moving players around. I know we lost Tyrann Mathieu to Houston, but I understand, he was injured. When he came back, he wasn't performing like he was before he was injured. So they cut their losses on that, especially, of course, it's all about money. But nonetheless, if we don't get another safety that performs just like Mathieu, I just don't see our defense. Patrick Peterson can't do, everything on his own. It's just not going to happen.
True.
But we still need to focus on our defense. But the one thing that has always haunted me with Arizona is our quarterback. I don't see us seeing another Kurt Warner.
I don't know. We'll see. There's some interesting quarterbacks in this draft, and I would hope Arizona should be hoping that they might be able to land one and not trade up for one. All right, so to end the list, I have Chicago at 26, Buffalo at 27, the Browns at 28, the Jets at 29, the Giants at 30, the Colts at 31, and the Dolphins at 32.
I have one name for you right now. Andrew Luck. What is up with Andrew Luck right now? I totally agree with the 31 on the Colts. What is up with Andrew Luck?
You know, to answer your question, I don't believe the coaches know what they're getting out of Andrew Luck this year. So that's why I'm at 31. I don't know. I know he's participating in training camp, but you know, we all know that doesn't really say much. So yeah, that's all I have with Andrew Luck and the Colts. Again, that's why I have him at 31.
Fair enough.
All right. So now to go to our next subject, and it's one of my, you know, what I'm excited for is, so tomorrow we know is the draft for the first round, and I do have a mock draft. So again, this is a mock draft with no trades. I understand. I believe there will be trades, but I can't predict any trades. You know, I can't predict any further free agency signings, but with what we have now, the trade is tomorrow. This is what I have. So with the top 5 in the mock draft is I have Cleveland taking a quarterback, and it is Sam Darnold at USC. I have the Giants taking Bradley Chubb, defensive end out of North Carolina State. I have the Jets taking, this might surprise you, Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. I have the Browns taking, now in my opinion is the best player in the draft, Saquon Barkley at running back. And I have the Broncos taking their quarterback, Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA.
So remember this, guys. We have history in the making if he calls 5 for 5. We will see.
Yeah, and honestly, with these quarterbacks in this draft, I don't know. This is what I believe. Now, to speak on what I think, what I would hate to see is the Giants take Saquon Barkley. It would make sense on, that's one route that they can go. He can definitely improve their offense. He can help out Eli Manning. To me, I can compare him to Ezekiel Elliott, and I know y'all probably seen some comparisons to that. He can block, he can catch, he can run routes. So yeah, I don't want to see this guy twice a year. I think he's going to be a great running back. But with them losing JPP to Tampa Bay, Bradley Chubb, you know, he's the best defensive player in the draft. He's clean. There's no off-the-field issues with them. And I think, you know, the Giants have always had a tough defense, you know, and I should know. And so I can see them also taking Bradley Chubb. To me, I think it makes the most sense. But, again, Saquon Barkley is also, he's one of those players that come, you know, once a decade. And, again, I hope they don't go that route, but either one's fine. The Jets, from what I hear, they love Baker Mayfield. I think it just makes perfect sense, you know, and Baker Mayfield would love to go to New York. He's just one of those guys. He's cocky, he's arrogant, and I can see him wanting to perform in just big time, you know, Showtime, the lights, the media, you know, all that. And so, you know, I see Baker Mayfield being drafted before the rest of the quarterbacks, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, and so, yeah, that's what I have. Do you have anything?
No, not
top
really.
5? All right, so to go to the next 5, I have the Colts taking the best lineman in the draft, Quentin Nelson, offensive tackle at Notre Dame. I have Tampa Bay taking Derwin James, safety out of Florida State. I had Chicago taking Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State. I have the 49ers taking Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech. And I have Oakland taking one of my favorite players in the draft, Roquan Smith, linebacker out of Georgia. How would you feel if the Colts drafted, you know, a lineman? You think that's what they needed, you know, to help Andrew Luck?
Anything to help Luck. I mean, honestly,
Or
he had such a huge start. What did he have then that he doesn't have now? Like, that's the question.
Well, I do know he gets hit a lot.
Exactly.
But do you think they might want to add another weapon to him? You think they want to add to that defense? They have a lot of holes, but do you think right now their main priority should be protecting Andrew Luck?
Of course, I think if you protect a quarterback, he stays healthy. With the potential that Luck has proven that he can do, I think the Colts definitely need to get somebody to, protect him, and that's just what it boils down to. I think as long as he understands that, hey, I'm good, I can take my time a little bit to find a proper receiver, throw to him, and make the play. That's all that matters. If you don't have anybody protecting, I mean, we can't go back, and just say that, hey, it was this or it was that. It is what it is. So definitely he needs that O-line to protect him, so that way he can play the way he's supposed to play and his potential.
Yep, it makes sense to me. All right, so 11-15, I have the Dolphins taking Vita Vea, defensive tackle at Washington. Buffalo taking their quarterback Josh Allen at quarterback Wyoming. The Redskins taking Deron Payne, defensive tackle Alabama. Green Bay taking Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of my favorite players in the draft, someone I hope Cowboys can trade up and get, defensive back Alabama. And Arizona taking a receiver, Calvin Ridley, receiver Alabama.
Definitely. Fitzgerald, he's did his time. We're going to have to find somebody to take his place eventually, so I'm okay with that. Getting a wide receiver, although if you don't have a quarterback to throw that receiver, it really doesn't matter.
Again, if Josh Allen is going to make it this far, I can't see Arizona making a trade, maybe with Miami, to draft Josh Allen. But again, this mock draft is without trades. And I don't think Josh Allen will fall to Arizona if there are no trades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now to go from 16 to 20, I have Baltimore taking. They're a big tight end team, and I think they need to add to the tight end. So Hayden Hurst, tight end, South Carolina. The Chargers taking Taven Bryan, defensive tackle, Florida. Seattle taking Josh Jackson, cornerback, Iowa. My team taking Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama. And Detroit taking Marcus Davenport, defensive end, at University of Texas, San Antonio.
Okay, I'd throw in Seattle. Picking a cornerback, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Definitely a big thing. Seattle definitely always had a pretty good defense. Strong cornerbacks. How do you think he's going to hold up?
I love Josh Jackson. I'm a big fan. To me, I think he is one of the best top two cornerbacks in this draft. And I know in some mock drafts they have him even going late in the first round or in the second round. I don't see that happening. But Seattle, they lost Richard Sherman.
Yep.
They lost a big part of their defense, and so I think they need to get back to that, Legion of Boom. And Josh Jackson is an aggressive cornerback. He has great ball skills. So I think this is a perfect pick for them. This would be a match made in heaven if Josh Jackson falls to Seattle.
Definitely, which is a threat.
Yeah. And so to speak on Dallas's pick, Rashaan Evans, I know a lot of fans are here thinking we have to get a receiver. We lost Dez. And I mean, like I said earlier, defense is, to me, the big question mark. I think Dak Prescott can work with what they have now. I've seen him win games without Dez Bryant in the lineup. But I also believe Calvin Ridley is the receiver that we would need in the first round. If he's not there, we can get a receiver in the second round. So I think Rashaan Evans is a great person. He's clean off the field issues, and he's an amazing athlete. He's a leader. He's a general. He's an enforcer. He will bring the wood. He's a big guy, and that's someone that we need Like I said, Sean Lee is injury prone. You know, I hate to say it. And Jalen Smith, you know, we just don't know how. We don't know 100% about his knee, and so I think this is a safe defensive pick at this point. And I would love this pick, but they can also go secondary. But I think, you know, this is the right pick for them if you know, Minka Fitzpatrick or Derwin James don't fall to them. So now to go 21-26, I have Mike Hughes, cornerback, University of Central Florida. Lamar Jackson going to Buffalo from Louisville. Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle, going to Notre Dame. Jair Alexander, cornerback, Louisville to Carolina. Harold Landry to Tennessee. Defensive end out of Boston College. And Hurst, defensive tackle from Michigan, going to Atlanta.
Fair enough.
All right.
I don't know if you want to add to any of that.
No, I mean, some right here, you know, Lamar Jackson going to Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo needs a quarterback.
Really?
I don't think. But they can also, they can go secondary here. They can go defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, in these late, and I mean, these quarterbacks, they're going to go so fast off the board. I just see trades just going. And so, yeah, if Lamar Jackson falls to them, you know, they have to pull the trigger on him. And then, so to finish off the mock draft from 27 to 32, I have DJ Moore going to the Saints, receiver out of Maryland. The Steelers getting Bender Edge, linebacker, Boise State. Jacksonville getting Cortland Sutton, receiver at SMU. The Vikings getting Will Hernandez, guard out of UTEP. And then New England getting Dallas Goedert, tight end, San Diego. South Dakota State, and then the Eagles getting Darius Guice, running back out of LSU. Philly getting that running back. I mean, honestly, they can pick the best player at this point. They don't have a lot of holes, but running back is something that they can address. And Darius Guice, I think he can be a great asset to them. He's a big back, but he has some speed. He can catch the ball. I think he's a perfect fit for their system. I would hate to see it, but again, they can go any route here. They can add another receiver. They can add to their defense, which will make them scary good. They can add a tight end. You know, they lost Trey Burton. You know, and so they can add a tight end to the offense. Good.
Good.
All right, so that concludes our mock draft. And again, this is just our opinions. This is without trades.
Without trade.
And so anything can happen, but I'm excited and I cannot wait for this weekend. So now we're going to go to free agency updates. So you know what we're going to talk about.
Dez Bryant.
Yeah. Dez Bryant.
So I hear, of course, there's a lot of rumors on the internet. He turned down the Ravens.
Yes, he did. Dez, from what I heard, he wants to wait till after the draft. I mean, Dez wants to get paid.
Of course.
Dez has an ego, you know, he is still one of the best receivers. I love
Didn't
him.
drop it, unfortunately, even though it didn't count. But
it's too late.
it's way too late, but he didn't drop it.
Yeah. Dez, I love Dez. And I wish he would have realized that he has lost a step. He's got up there in age to where he's not the receiver that he once was. And, but also, honestly, I have to put it on the coaches. I don't think the coaches utilize him, you know, to his potential to work with Dak. I wish that I would have seen Dez in the slot, running different routes. You know, I got tired of hearing cornerbacks saying, Dez was doing this route, that route, or this route.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, all the cornerbacks that went up against him said the same thing, and it's, you know, to me, it's like, if you're the offensive coach and you see that, why aren't you trying to mix it up? Why aren't
Mhm.
you trying to move him in the slot? And I mean, they did, but more. You know, they had him in the slot just only a few plays. But yeah, all the routes I seen him do was a quick slant,
Mhm.
a back shoulder fade, or a post. And I mean, you don't see, he wasn't getting separation. A lot of throws that Dak threw to him were overthrown, or, you know, and I felt that Dak didn't trust that Dez was going to go up and get those 50-50 balls, or had the speed to burn the top off the
Mhm.
defense. I mean, Dez still made some plays, but I did see Dez one-on-one not get separation. And so to me, I can see why the Cowboys let him go. To get paid $12 million, you have to make plays day
Mhm.
in, day out. You have to be that threat that Julio Jones is.
Exactly.
AJ Green, Antonio Brown, and defense weren't respecting that, and they were shutting down Dez. You know, and I can see also Dez being sort of a distraction in the locker room,
Mhm.
on the sideline. You know, asking or telling Dak to feed me the ball, but Dak's trying to. Dak threw, I believe, a third of his passes to Dez. But again, I mean, I've seen Dak win games, look well without Dez. You know, he was feeding the ball to Cole Beasley, to Williams, to Witten. But we need Zeke in the lineup. If Zeke's not there, and definitely Dez is not there, you know, Dak, I can see Dak struggling.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, what I think Dez should do, I think Dez should go to Green Bay, go to New England, maybe even the Saints. But I think the top two options for him to thrive and compete and perform is Green Bay and New England. Go to a team that has a quarterback that is going to make you better than what you think you are, or that you think you can be.
Mhm.
If he wants to get paid, he can go to a team that, you know, has money. If they have money, more than likely they don't have talent. They don't have the quarterback. And, I mean, if he wants to get paid like a number one receiver, then he's going to have to go to a team that, again, you know, might not have that quarterback that can help him perform.
Mhm.
And, I mean, he wasn't doing that in Dallas, so I can see why he wanted to continue to not be able to perform at that high level when you don't have a great quarterback throwing the ball to you.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah, so that's my opinion with Dez. I know he wanted to play with the Giants, but they're not interested. Honestly, I don't think they have the money to pay him that. I know Washington is a possibility. I would hate to see that because I don't want to see Dez twice again. Mainly just because I don't want to see us beat Dez.
Yeah, in your division.
At the same time, I mean, I don't want to see Dez, you know, destroy us.
Mhm.
You know, he has that potential, but he needs that quarterback.
So let me ask you something. Do you think he would stay with the NFC?
I know he's expressed that he wanted to. You know, he told Jerry, "I'll see you twice next year."
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I can see him. But honestly, I miss that old-fashioned football back in the day where you wouldn't go to a division rival just because,
Yeah.
you know, that was your division rival. But nowadays, it's about business.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, and people go where the money is. And I'm tired of seeing Cowboy players go to our division rivals. You know, DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big. That was like. Just
now there is a difference with Dez. Dez was loyal and passionate about being a Cowboy. He grew up a Cowboy fan, and the Cowboys did kind of do him wrong by letting him go this late. If they were planning on letting him go, they should let him go in the beginning of free agency, so Dez can go out and maximize his contract to a team that needed a receiver. All the teams that needed receivers got their receivers. And so right now the market for Dez isn't huge, but that's why I believe the Cowboys let him go this late, because they didn't want Dez to go to any team of his choice and get the money he wanted. Now Dez has to make that choice.
Yeah.
Do I want to go to a team that I can play well but get a contract that I don't want, or get the contract I want but go to a team where we're not going to even make the playoffs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it boils down to money, honestly.
It
Do you
does.
take it or not? Take it or leave it.
Yep, and I've seen a lot of players. I mean, look what your team did with a quarterback.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Please don't remind me.
And so,
And don't get me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. That doesn't mean I'm going to go get a Bradford jersey. Never happened. I'm sorry. But I want to be proven wrong. I want to see him perform. I want to see us win games, and just see them be what they project Arizona to be. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
I would hope that they see something great to pay Sam Bradford that much money. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not go into that.
If they didn't, and they paid that money for whatever reason, then I question their future.
Unless, hey, don't get me wrong. I mean, if he's good at holding the clipboard, being injured, I guess it's worth it.
Willie Snead, he is leaving the Saints, going to Baltimore.
Oh, that's confirmed?
Yeah. Saints did not want to match his offer, so I know. Baltimore looking for a receiver. Obviously, they don't have that much money, and which is why Dez turned it down. But they did get a receiver to help Joe Flacco. What do you think about that?
I mean, Flacco's a good quarterback. He's proven himself. I mean, all around. He's not the best. He's no Brady. He's no Manning or not Eli. But he's played with them. He's been around for a long time, and he needs somebody to throw to. I think that'll be good for him.
True. Yeah, I believe so as well.
Sorry for any New York Giants fans. I just don't see Eli Manning as a clutch quarterback, even with the rings.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
That's a pure luck quarterback.
Hey, he said it, but if y'all have any questions for me about the Giants, y'all can always, ask me.
I don't hate the Giants.
I'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.